Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Gita Marie and I am headed out the door soon because today is the big... This is crazy. Okay, adjusting. Today I'm gonna do a really big grocery shop, so I wanted to take you guys with me through that because we're gonna go to both the supermarket and to the farmer's market, and I'm gonna get all my stuff, preferably as zero waste as possible. And I thought, what a good opportunity to make a video about it, so let's do that. I spent basically the entirety of last week out, so my kitchen is bare. There's nothing there. So we will be starting from scratch a little bit. Like, I have dried goods, stuff like that, but like I don't have fresh produce and I don't know how to cook without that. So we're gonna go and see what we can find. But before we do that, this video is sponsored. This video is sponsored by Skillshare, and what better time of the year to learn something new? It's already super gloomy and rainy, what better time? If you don't know Skillshare, Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of different courses, and you can learn basically anything. So whatever your passions are, that being photography, illustration, bullet journaling, animations and crafts, there is definitely something for everyone. And one of the courses that I've been inspired by lately is this one about digital decluttering. In addition to this being something that's just super good for productivity and your overall workflow, it's also really sustainable to do a seasonal digital declutter, because storing things online that you're not going to use takes up resources. And if there's something else on Skillshare that you find more appealing, you can use my discount code, because the first 500 people will get a free month trial of Skillshare. So what better time to do that than now, where you can't do anything outside because Jesus Christ, the weather is bad. Anyway, thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. We are gonna go out into the gloomy, rainy weather today, and we're gonna do some grocery shopping, preferably with as little waste, packaging and impact as possible. But let's see what we end up with. If you have not seen one of these videos before, you will know that although I say zero waste, I don't mean 100% perfectly zero waste. That's impossible in a society not designed for it. But we are gonna do our very best, and that's all anyone can ask of us, even ourselves. What? We're also gonna take some recyclables to recycling. The street I live on don't have local recycling, so I am taking my recycling elsewhere around the city. And I look crazy while doing it. Alas, it's gonna happen. Okay. And we gotta go. Okay, cool. This is the basket I usually take to the farmer's market, but it's currently full of camping stuff, so we'll take that out before we go. I cannot possibly carry anything else. Let's go. I returned all my recyclables. Now I just have my empty basket and I'm ready to hit the farmer's market. Very exciting vlog so far. Anyway, the basket sort of amplifies the experience of going to the farmer's market. It feels better with the basket across the board. I just came out of the supermarket. I think I was a little bit ambitious with how much I could carry. Alas, we're trying. Oh my God, help! I made it. I'm back in my kitchen, and let's just look at what we got. There is no longer a specific zero waste shop in my town, which I'm very bummed out about. At one point we had two. Glory days. Anyway, now we don't have any. There are some shops where you can get bulk bread. There are some shops you can get bulk nuts. There are some shops where you can get like small bits and bobs. I very rarely do like a big shop where I get everything. I am much more of a sort of day by day, which I know is more time consuming and often also more expensive. Like doing a big shop can be a good way of saving money as well, and like meal prepping and meal planning a little bit.
I'm very, very bad at that. So that's something I need to be better at. But the good thing about not getting all your stuff in one place is that you can sort of scout out, where can I get bulk bread? Where can I get this and where can I get that? And that makes it a little bit easier to get things without packaging, or get things that are just like a little bit like better packaging at least. The grocery store I went to today is right next to the farmer's market, so that's very easy. In that grocery store, you can't get rice nor pasta without plastic. Unfortunate. We got tomatoes tinned because I use this in basically every other dish. I also got a can of beans because I use these in like stews. I use them in tacos, burritos, rice dishes. Like I just add them in basically everything. And you can also process them and use them in your pancake batter. You can use them in your bread just to get just like extra nutrients, extra protein, whatever. Pretty nice. Coconut milk. I don't know how I'm gonna get through a week without it. I got tomato puree. I like this type of packaging because usually you get like the small tins, and I always end up not being able to use all of it, and then it grows moldy, it goes bad. This way you sort of keep it more contained, so it lasts a lot longer, and that's really nice when you're only cooking for either 1 or 2 people. Also, I have this amount of freezer space, so meal prepping and putting sauces in the freezer is not really an option. Now, we also have my plant-based cream. I use this is oat-based. Okay, we also have my butter. This is from the same brand. It's a plant-based butter. This acts in the exact same way as animal-based butter. Dairy-based. Dairy. It acts in the same way. It sort of browns up, it's slightly salted, this one as well, and you can use it in the same way. Like some vegan butters, some plant-based butters, they don't. They act more like margarine, and it's not really the same. But this, chef's kiss. I can also make a like butter foam with this, and that never happens with any of the other variants. This is fresh yeast, and I know this is a very typical Danish thing, I believe, or maybe Scandinavian. It looks like that, and yeah. So I feel like I want to bake something this week. Also got 2 pears, got a red pepper as well, and 2 bananas. I thought these were singles, but then they turned out to be together. Otherwise, I like to just pick out the lonely single bananas because they're often disposed of. I have tried to keep my chocolate consumption to a minimum, which I've also been successful at. This is both for baking projects and also snacking. I feel like I've been good, so I want to do that. Reducing consumption of high impact foods like chocolate is a really good idea. But if you are getting chocolate, get something that's organic, get something that's fair trade, so there is at least a little bit of a chance that people actually got paid fair wages to produce it. Fair trade is by no means a perfect system, but it is a better system than a lot of the alternatives. Anyway, we got chocolate. Speaking of snacks, I also found some vegan ice cream cones that I never seen before and also haven't tried because I haven't seen them before. Okay, I just put them in the freezer, so this box is empty, but look. Okay, it's with caramel. Then I got spinach in a plastic bag. So sue me, but it was reduced to half. But I feel like it looks fine, so there's plenty of time for me to eat this. Prefer to not buy vegetables in packaging because I know I can get so much of my produce at the farmer's market, but when I see something that's reduced, I will be more inclined to get it. And this was great. This is a little bit more than a quid. I feel like that's cool. And the last thing I got at the supermarket, because they didn't have pasta without packaging, or like, well, obviously, they didn't have pasta just in cardboard. They do sometimes. Now, let's get on to the farmer's market. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. I could have gotten more stuff, but I know for a fact that I'll be able to eat all of this and then nothing will be wasted. Otherwise, there is a market again on Saturday. Today's Wednesday, and there's another market next week. So I feel like stocking up on too much stuff can also be a little bit problematic because I will end up not being able to eat all of it. Anyway, we got some stuff and I know I'll be able to finish this. So, potatoes, locally grown. Danish potatoes. This is living its best life. And these go with everything from roasts to soups, everything. I use potato in so many different recipes, so this is perfect. Some parsley, because I use this also in a majority of dishes. I love to sprinkle it on salads. Just generally adding fresh herbs takes your cooking to a whole new level. Got a few tomatoes as well. I love that they're still on the stalk. What else do we have? Okay, yeah, parsnip. I love to roast these in the oven and serve them with a delicate sauce. You can use them for a few different things. I personally like to just peel them, cut them in half and roast them in the oven with some thyme, rosemary, etc. Just like that's just such a real autumn flavor for me. Also, just spicing things up, I got sweet potato, which I never get. I often find myself not knowing what to use them for, so any ideas are welcome. I thought about just baking them like you would with a regular baked potato and then serve them with chives, butter, etc. But if you have any other ideas, I would love to hear them. Broccoli. This is one of my favorite vegetables, being able to find broccoli without packaging, because this is one of those things that's in supermarket always comes in plastic. And what do we have here? Oh yeah, okay, so we have onions. We have shallots, loads of them. And then I got tons of red onion because I recently cleaned out my fridge. Me and my partner, we did that yesterday. And he asked me if I had any pickled red onion because I usually do, and I actually didn't. He was just like... Then I got a cucumber. I do a lot of sandwiches. I cannot do that without cucumber. And I also got broccolini. I love these in stir fries. And then I got garlic. There we are. They both have dried and fresh garlic. I also like the taste of fresh garlic, but these keep for longer, so we're just gonna take these. And then I only got 4. Okay, I got 4. People either call these Jerusalem artichokes or sunroot. We call them jordskokker in Danish. And I only got 4 of them, which is a really odd amount, but I can make a tiny puree, a tiny sauce with them. You can also just bake them. They are really, really nice. They have this very deep, distinct autumn flavor that I just cannot live without. These are gorgeous. I'm so ready for them to be in every single dish that I make. Anyway, next time I will probably get more. I don't know why I only got 4. Anyway, that's everything I got at the farmer's market. Now, the big question is, how do you store food in order for it to last as long as possible? I'm gonna answer that as well. So let me just get everything out of the way and let's talk about food storage. I forgot to mention, I also got pizza because I want to make this for lunch today. So I took the easy way out. That happens sometimes as well. And I feel like this kind of video is also an exercise in showing how, even though I would prefer things a certain way, sometimes life looks different. But I want to be better at expressing that specifically. And I feel like I've been okay at that on this channel, but let me know if we need more realness, because if you want more realness, I'm gonna give you more realness. Now perhaps you're wondering, where the heck is the protein? Because I basically just showed you carbs and vegetables, which is my preferred diet, to be honest. However, I know that you also need more. And the thing is, I wanted to get some of the textured soy and pea protein that I usually use in a lot of my dishes. I also like to use tofu, more beans, lentils, all that stuff. However, I have all of this stuff already. So lentils and beans I have in my cupboard. Then I have stuff in my freezer, and then I have this dried textured protein. For instance, this is from my cupboard. It's like a dried soy protein that you need to rehydrate. And it contains 45 grams of protein per 100 grams, which is what is in this box. So it's not that you're not getting any protein, it's just that I didn't buy any because I have it in my cupboard already. Okay. Yeah, you probably know the drill at this point, but I couldn't help myself. I needed to do a nice flat lay of all the groceries. So here we are. It's massive, this one, but the duality. At some point in time, I feel like laying out groceries like this can become an art form. I want this picture on my wall. A fridge tour. This is how it looks currently. Some greens. I have leftovers in these metal tins. Love to use those. Then I have salsas, sauces. I put the parsley in water, same with the broccoli. And then we have the spinach down there. Then I have sauces, etc, etc. Anyway, this is what it looks like. This is a good amount of food in the fridge. I feel like often we have a tendency to want to overstock our fridges, and that way we're more prone to waste some of the food. To me at least, I feel like it's easier to simply have that amount of food, then eat all of that, then buy something new. Also, having tons of different recipes on hand that you can use the same kinds of ingredients for, so you don't have to buy special ingredients every single day. Having something that's versatile that you can use both in soups, in stews, in sauces, in pies, in stir fries. Yes. Okay, so a little bit about how you store food correctly, or at least how I store food to make it last the longest. So for fresh herbs as well as for stuff like broccoli, I keep it in water. You can have this out on the table in the sunlight. I also just keep it in the fridge, and it lasts for a really long time. 2 weeks. Crazy. I cut off a little bit of the stem so it fits better in the jar, and that hasn't been a problem. Tomatoes I like to keep out on the counter. They don't go in the fridge until they're a little bit too ripe or downright overripe. A lot of the flavor disappears if you put the tomatoes directly into the fridge, but if you keep them out, you're gonna have much more flavorful tomatoes. But when they're going bad, or like right before they get too ripe, put them into the fridge, because then you have a couple of extra days before they go bad. So this is sort of a flavor advice, but also an anti-food waste vibe. Pop them into any pasta dish or any bake or anything that I have and use them that way, if I haven't already eaten all of them. But if you want to use them for salad, or like want to use them fresh, I recommend not putting them into the fridge. Bananas and pears also stay outside the fridge, unless they get too ripe. then they go in the fridge as well. Then I made this little basket. I have my potatoes, parsnip, I have the Jerusalem artichokes, and I have the sweet potato. This is not gonna go in the fridge. This is gonna go in my cupboard. It's best to store these cool, not cold, and in the dark. So that's what we're gonna do. And then I have a separate bowl for the onions. There are so many different vegetables that if you combine them, they're gonna affect each other. They sort of activate each other. And I've always heard that you shouldn't put potatoes and onions in the same basket. So we're not gonna do that. We're gonna separate them to make sure they last the longest. All the dried goods have been put into the cupboard, and that's sort of it. I'm very excited to generally just be back in my kitchen. That is it for this video. I hope that you liked it. If you did, you can leave me a thumbs up. That would make my day. You can also subscribe to this channel. That would also indeed make my day. Comment down below what you would make from the produce and the groceries that I got today. I would love to hear you guys' ideas. It's always inspirational, and sometimes you get stuck in sort of a cooking rut where you only make the same things over and over. So having you guys' ideas would definitely be a big help. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day. I will see you guys next time. Take really good care of yourselves. Until then, bye.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and also a special thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys help me create green, zero waste content, and I love you guys. You can find the links to my social media accounts down below and the link to my Patreon on this screen. Bye!